Hey, welcome everyone. Today we wanted to kind of share a video on some of our experiences over the past couple of years around a subject that I'm sure is older than the internet, and it's probably opening up a can of worms, but we're going to go ahead and have the conversation anyway. It's been going on since before the internet, and I'm sure it's going to go on long after that. But having been involved in legend cars over many years now, we started with the 1250s, much like everyone else now that they're kind of dying off. But obviously, those things are run really hot. They're expensive to rebuild, and they're just the application of that motor sitting in here sideways builds a lot of heat, and it's really hard on the engine. And the oil temperatures, the head temperatures, just get excessively hot. Obviously, no secret, right? There's been lots of coolers and different designs to try to keep the oil as cool as possible and make them live. But so that's how we got started in this. And we've been fortunate enough here in Ohio to work directly with Klotz. They've been great, and they've developed a lot of products specifically for motorcycle powered racing applications and specifically legends. They've supported us with doing lots of oil analysis. So when we say that we think this is the best product, it's not just because, well, we used it and we didn't blow up. We've seen a lot of oil analysis for previous oils that we used to run. The Schaefer's, obviously, which is a popular choice, and not that that's a bad oil. The AMS oil, the Yamalube, they're all good oils. They meet the specifications that they say they meet. And one of the things that, Klotz is not necessarily a low tier player. It advertises that it's be the best. It's all the raw materials, the base oils and everything that go into this thing. It's a full synthetic oil, and truly, best of the best, engineered to outperform anything, not necessarily to be the lowest cost product. And certainly, I feel like, in our experiences and working with them, that there's been no doubt about it. Growing up, we always rode ATVs, dirt bikes, and Klotz was undoubtedly the go-to for when you wanted the best oil. And obviously their heritage in racing and karting and coming up through it, and the expansion of their oils from just beyond 2 strokes to 4 strokes has been just as good as you would imagine. So today we'll cover a few products here. Like I say, we've been running this year for a little over 2 years now, helping test it out and stuff, giving feedback, giving data, oil samples, all that kind of stuff. And again, nothing but positive things to say about both the tech support and the product. Now that we became a dealer, so that we had access to these oils and stuff, and not just their standard line of oils, but also the dedicated race products, which we'll get into. But so one of the things that we'll cover today, obviously specific largely to these legend car products, but anything. These all are motorcycle powered cars, so there's lots of applications that this is going to be a fantastic choice for. When we talk about your road race bikes, some of your other powered cars like your Thunder Roadsters, obviously, the Rush race cars, which use a motorcycle powered cars, all your microsprints. They have a full line of go-kart oils and stuff that are just absolutely killing it when it comes to achieving peak performance and top-notch durability. We won't cover that stuff today because, again, we're talking specifically about legend cars mostly, and the motorcycle powered other vehicles and power sports type stuff. They recently just came out with this nice convenient oil change kit. So this is being offered for the FC MT09 application. So what you'll get is 3 quarts of oil and a filter. Now they have 2 different variants of this. So their line of products with the KL-840R, so R being the race version, and then they also have the KL-840, which is their call it their standard motorcycle oil. it's still, I'd put it on par with some of the best products out there. When we talk about that very top tool or top tier of motorcycle oils, really we're going to put 2 oils in that category, right? Your Motul and your Klotz. So there are really engineered to be top tier products, and whether you go Klotz or Motul, both are fantastic products based on what we've seen. So not to say that any of the other ones are bad oils. We've ran them before, they work fine, may or may not have an issue with them, but the RPMs of these engines and the oil shearing that happens in those oil pumps, and then when you even get to, like they say, the air-cooled motors with the temperatures, we've seen as much as like 20-degree drop in the oil temperatures in the air-cooled motors, which is massive when we're talking about just oil. And like I say, we even picked up probably some power there. We've done some dynoing in other applications, not necessarily Legends motors, we don't have the connections at the engine shop there, but in some of like the microsprints and other applications, you're seeing 1 to 2 horsepower on a small engine. That's huge in these. I mean, you're not going to go out and pick up 2/10, but if you're in a competitive area with these Legend cars, every 1/2 that you can get it's worth it, right? I mean, it's hard to get speed in these cars when you get to that competitive level. So Klotz certainly helps deliver that without sacrificing any durability. Is it a little bit more? Yes, it's a little bit more. It's racing. Anyone that's involved in this sport, when you're trying to find those 1/2, I mean, it's worth it, right? And not only that, just if you look at the cost of rebuilding these engines and even the old air-cooled engines, to spend a few extra bucks on an oil change, but to extend the life of your engine, when you're talking, $3, $4, $5 to rebuild one of these engines, it's just common sense. I mean, the economics work out itself on that end of it. So, so back to the oil change kits. They have 2 versions, KT501. So this is going to be they both come with the same filter. KT501 is just the standard 10W40 oil. And then you can step up to the KT500. So this is the race oil, and then one comes with just the standard oil. 3 quarts, keep it in the trailer, super handy to throw it in and have it on when you're at a race weekend or something. One of the things we like in our garage, obviously we run a couple cars here locally. You're doing oil changes throughout the year, so we've actually found it very convenient to go ahead and buy it in 5-gallon buckets. It just gets the cost per quart down a little bit. So it makes it competitive with a much cheaper oil like an AMSOIL or something like that, Schaefer's. Not that those are cheap oils, but you're at least getting a much better product and getting it on par with cost. But obviously within a year, we'll go through 5 gallons of motor oil, no problem. You can get the gear oil also in there. So they make a whole line of racing specific synthetic gear oils, great stuff. The free gear, it comes in 75/90, 75/80. They got even more weights than that. We typically for these cars, like to stay in that 75/90, 75/80 range. Depending on, if you want to go a little lighter and change it a little more frequently, that's perfectly fine. Obviously we've experimented with it, and as we pulled gears out and stuff, absolutely they look fantastic. So and then obviously you can always buy individual quarts. You can buy a 10-quart case, or we'll sell individual quarts as well as help out racers, however you want to, whatever supports your needs. Obviously Klotz offers it. All made in the USA. It all comes from Indiana here. So I mean, like I say, just a great company to work with. They've supported racing in multiple different areas, from all levels. And then also one of their newer products here is this KSP4. We use this actually more on the power sports side, and we race enduros and stuff like that on the dirt. This stuff is awesome for making mud just fall off. So I think this is going to do really well. Everyone that's tried it so far, it just makes the cleanup process and everything much easier. And it also, if you got like your ATVs, your dirt bikes, it protects plastic really well, brings out the shine. It's actually a really good product. So so that covers kind of the products here that we have available. Like I say, we have it on our website. Reach out to us. We'll get you a quote. We'll do the best we can to make the price as competitive as can be. But overall, like I say, we've been running it for 2+ years. Nothing but great things to say about the oil itself. Working with Klotz, it's just top notch. So if you have any questions, like I say, leave it in the comments. Subscribe. I fully expect that everyone's gonna chime in and say that they've been running X oil and it's fantastic. They haven't blown a motor, but having seen all the oil analysis and stuff, and just, you know, not that I'm an oil expert, but the particle contents, iron contents, and just some other indicators that they look at the life of the oil, I would put money down that Klotz is physically one of the best products you can put in these cars. And obviously that's why we run it, and we certainly recommend it to anyone, whether you buy it from us or not. I could care less. Again, we became a dealer to get it available for us, but also to support you know, Klotz because of the support that they've given us, as well as just make it available to local racers, because we really think it helps keep the overall operating cost of these cars in check. If you're not blowing motors and having to rebuild them all the time. So anyways, reach out to us if you have any questions. Hope you enjoyed this information. Hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully you learned maybe something about oils. Yeah,